Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. Now, right off the top, there's a couple things that I want to mention. My yoga classes have begun, and if you want to join my Thursday night, 7:45 p.m. Vinyasa Flow, all levels, you can join in on Zoom. You can check out my website, thejoyfulyogini.ca, for more information. And something else that I'm planning on February the 7th is a singles night at the Second Wedge Brewery right in Uxbridge. So what do we have up on the show? Pamela is coming on the show. We're talking about dating in Durham, how we need to have a thick skin. And then as Scugog Sports Hall of Fame will be on the show about 4 upcoming inductees. And H&R Block will be on the show. We're talking about tax season. All that and so much fun on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Keep on watching. We'll be right back with more.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello, I'm Liz Dowdsville, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. In 2008, carbon monoxide, a deadly invisible gas, killed an entire family in our province. That tragedy led to a new law requiring homes with potential CO sources to have alarms. John Gignac's family members passed away that day, and he shares his story to save others.
Please make sure you have working CO alarms in your home. Protect your family today.
Up next on Meet the Band with BMD, we have Best of Meet the Band Part 2.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I have Yannick LeMay, who is a tax specialist with H&R Block. Yannick, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
It is so great to have you, especially because tax season is really, it's now, right? When do you think people should be starting their taxes? Did I just give that away?
You did. It's exactly now. So it's no time to wait because tax season is right around the corner. Now is the time more than ever to start getting your papers ready, getting your tax slips ready, to think maybe about any RSP contribution you want to make before the end of February. So CRA will start collecting returns electronically on February 19. So that means we can already get started with your tax return, evaluate also if it's a good option for you to contribute more to your RSP account, for example. So now is the time to do so.
So Yannick, what are those pieces of paper? What's that information you need to start collecting and compiling for either your accountant or so you can complete it yourself?
So there are more than 400 tax credits and deductions available for Canadians. So there's a lot of things to think about. Especially what people tend to forget sometimes are those credits and deductions for which you do not need to provide a tax slip. So these are credits or deductions that you need to find your receipt. So for example, medical expenses that were not covered by any insurance plan during the year. So you can claim those expenses. Also, if you have donations receipts. So these are receipts that maybe you need to go and dig in your email or dig in your paper that you have at home. So that this is why sometimes people tend to forget those. So think of all those credits and deductions you might be eligible for.
Okay, beautiful. Why is it so important to do those taxes, to get her done?
That's a question that we get a lot, because sometimes people think they have, for example, one job, they have one T4, they know they don't owe any taxes to CRA because they've paid their taxes during their wages during the year, and they say, why should I file my taxes? Well, simply by the fact that you file your tax return, you can get credits and benefits that are paid outside the tax return. So I'm thinking, for example, especially in Ontario, the climate action incentive payment, the GST credit as well. If you have children, you're also eligible to the childcare benefit, both from the Ontario government, but also from the federal government. So those are benefits that are paid to you if you are eligible simply because you filed your tax return. And especially this year, there's also a new dental plan that was put in place by the federal government. And to be eligible to claim expenses to that dental plan, you need to have filed a tax return the previous year. So that means your 2022 taxes have to be filed as well.
Okay, so what are some of those child tax related benefits or family benefits that you can claim? And up until what age can your children be so you can claim those?
So there's different options that are available for families, especially in Ontario. There's a credit called the CARE credit. So this is a credit that is available. It's a refundable credit. So that means it's money directly in the pockets of families. Even though you don't owe taxes, that means the government will pay you this credit. And it's available for families with an adjusted income, so a combined income of under $150,000. And you can get a refund up to 75% of childcare expenses that you paid. So the expenses that you paid, for example, to homes is one credit that is available. And then you also get child benefit. So child benefit is a credit that is paid outside the tax return based on your family income as well. And this credit, it depends, the amount that you will receive not only depends on your family income, but also on the age of your children as well.
And what is the oldest age that you can receive those benefits from your children?
So there's two elements here. And the first one is for everyone. So if you have medical receipts for which you received, for example, maybe just a partial refund, right? So your insurance group only part of expense, you can always claim the part that wasn't reimbursed to you on your tax return as a medical expense. So for example, if you went to get a dental treatment and part of that treatment was reimbursed by your insurance, then you can still put the other part that wasn't reimbursed you on your return. That's true for yourself, that's true for your spouse as well, and your children as well. And then if you do not constitute an insurance group with your employer and you pay a private insurance by yourself, then that premium that you pay for the health insurance, so the health part, you can also put that premium on your tax return as a medical expense.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. It was so great to have you on the show. Thank you for all that information. Everyone, start compiling your stuff for tax season. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Treaty in Cree is Nascomitoin, an oral agreement, and our agreements were always spoken. For George Spence, the core of treaty was Wichihioin, to help one another.
And so we, the commissioners,
He was there for the making of Treaty 9, where the Cree were told,
we will honor this agreement together for as long as the sun shines and the waters flow.
the Cree made their mark because they were assured that the land would be shared and they would always be able to harvest what they needed. George Spence was my great-grandfather. In his life, he saw many promises of the treaty go unfulfilled.
Treaties were essential to the creation of Canada. First Nations still fight for the agreements to be honored.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So with me on the show, I have Leanne Ashbridge, who is the chair of Scugog Sports Hall of Fame, and we're talking about 4 new inductees, and that will be happening on April the 25th.
That's right.
So, Leanne, I would love to find out, what is the process that you go through in order to choose who is going to be inducted?
We have a nomination process, and we accept nominations from the public anytime. There is a list of criteria that is on our website, on the Scugog Township website, in order to qualify for a nomination. Those nomination forms are reviewed by a committee, a steering committee, and we look at the merits of the nomination, we look at the date of the nomination, we look at we try to look at a theme for every year. We have nominees that are related in some way, or we can make the evening a nice rounded out evening. And based on all of those kind of criteria, the selection committee makes a selection based on the recommendation of our nomination person. He's somebody who is dedicated to looking at all the nominations and bringing them forward to the steering committee. And based on his recommendation and questions and answers that we get at the actual steering committee meeting where we select our inductees, that's how the process works.
Beautiful. So how often do you have new inductees?
We try to do it annually.
Okay.
We did have a couple of years off because of COVID, but we've been doing this now since 2007. Okay. And we are really excited about this year and the nominations that have come in and the inductees that we've selected.
And so the inductee or the induction process is taking place, or the official...
The ceremony?
The ceremony, thank you, on April the 25th.
Yes.
What is going to happen at that event?
What happens at that event is we have a dinner for the inductees and their guests that is paid for by the sponsorships of the ceremony. And then the inductees are escorted in and piped in by a piper. We often have the town crier do a little cry before it starts.
Nice.
We invite a keynote speaker to do a presentation. And then inductees are called onto the stage, and their accolades are read about, and people are aware of what they've done and who they are if they don't already know. And they receive a certificate, as well as we have a sketch artist who does a sketch of them, and those sketches, along with a write-up about their achievements within the sport that they're being inducted for, is hung on the wall in the Scugog Arena.
Beautiful. Okay, so I understand there's 3 categories. So you have an athlete category, a builder category, and teams.
That's right.
So for April the 25th, you have 4 new inductees.
We do.
One of which is an athlete. Do you want to start with?
Our athlete this year who's being inducted is Mike Haig. Mike is a renowned arm wrestler. And he is internationally known and has had many awards in his sport, and is actually in many other halls of fame specific to the arm wrestling sport. He has started up clubs in both England and in Port Perry, actually, and as not just as an athlete, but he is also someone who is a real promoter of that sport, and he's held a lot of administrative positions within the arm wrestling community as well. So we're really pleased about him being inducted.
Very exciting. So you also have someone from the builder category.
We do. Our builder this year is a longtime Port Perry resident, Georgia Brock. Her family has been in the area for generations, and Georgia actually brought tennis to the community of Port Perry. She was a teacher at Port Perry High School, and she started with a bunch of students in the back parking lot, got the principal involved and got them to put in a tennis net in the back parking lot. And then she really worked hard to have council involved and made presentations to council to get tennis courts put downtown at the lakefront. And she got some teachers together, and they put together a club. So we now have the Port Perry Tennis Club, which has celebrated more than 50 years in existence. So she's done a great job. She's also being inducted for her role in Port Perry figure skating. She was instrumental in getting that club started and was actually the first president of the Port Perry Skating Club.
She has done a lot.
She certainly has.
That is amazing.
Yes. She was also a member of our Hall of Fame committee. for a period of time when she sat on council, so when she was a councilwoman.
Now you have 2 teams being
do.
inducted. Tell me
Yes.
about those.
The teams are the Greenbank Gamblers. The Greenbank Gamblers have been in operation for quite some time in Greenbank. They are no longer in existence now, but in the 70s and 80s, they were a force to be reckoned with. They won a lot of tournaments. They were envied by many teams because they had such great athletes on those teams. The 2 teams that we are inducting are the 1986 team and the 1988 team. Most of the players on both of those teams are the same players, with the exception of 2 or 3. And both of those teams in themselves won championships at the provincial level, the All-Ontarios, through the Ontario Amateur Softball Association in the intermediate division.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, can people get tickets to attend this event?
The event is free to anyone who wants to come.
Okay.
The doors at the Scugog Community Centre will open at 6.
Okay.
There's a cash bar and lots of entertainment and lots of time to meet with old friends that you haven't seen in a long time. Many of the times when we bring these people together, the teams especially, they haven't seen each other for many, many years. So it's kind of a coming home kind of event for many people.
Oh, that's amazing. Anyone going to wear their jerseys from way back
We
when?
have had people wear jerseys. We've had people wear their championship jackets. Yes, so there may be some of that happens. There's also going to be a display. We also operate a Hall of Fame collection, so we have a lot of memorabilia that we are archiving and storing and artifacts. And so there will be a display as well on the night of the event, and then that display will be moved to our exhibit in the arena following the event and be on display for most of the spring and summer.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. So great to have you on the
Thank you
show.
very
and I
much.
wish you a very successful event
Thank you
on
so
April
much.
the 25th.
I'm very
we'll
glad
be
to be
back
here.
with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Everybody knows not to drink and drive, but some people still think it's okay to take drugs and drive. Police have the authority, the ability, and the tools to determine if drivers are impaired by legal or illegal drugs. And because drug-impaired drivers can pose just as great a risk as drunk drivers, they face the same penalties, like the loss of their driver's license, a criminal record, fines, and more. A message from the RCMP, the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police, and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So I have Pamela Forrest, and we are talking about dating in Durham. The good, the bad, the really ugly. So, Pamela, it's awesome to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I want to start off with things to watch out for, such as scammers on the dating apps. Maybe not only on the dating apps, but people contacting you from Facebook because it says single on the profile or widowed on their profile, right?
Right.
So what are some things that have been giving you the indication, okay, this is probably a scammer, I got my spidey senses up?
Yeah, as women, we definitely need to use our spidey senses.
Yeah.
Just really, really good-looking guys, good-looking,
extra good looking, whole bunch of model shots,
yes, model
right?
shots, pictures like that.
Yeah,
that kind of gets your spidey senses up.
Orthopedic surgeon working for the military.
So many orthopedic surgeons,
right?
Yes,
I didn't know there's so many out there.
So many. And mostly you notice it when you start talking to them.
Okay.
And
so what are some things that you've noticed?
Too nice, too attentive, not giving any information about themselves, but not really asking questions about you. I can't even, it's specific to each person.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about if they say, as soon as they start conversation, what's your WhatsApp
constantly, what's your WhatsApp? I got
Right?
rid of 4 people last week. What's your WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Not even what's your phone number. Maybe we can text now.
Yeah.
Because you can't send pictures on dating sites. So you want to send pictures or whatever, you got to go over to your phone number. So
Right.
people asking for your number right away. I'm not even exactly sure what they're doing with that or what they're asking for. I've heard of people asking for money.
Right.
Yeah.
They get you
I don't know why.
hooked in, then, oh,
Yeah.
can you send me some gift cards or something? I can't get that from where I am.
Yeah, and
Or
there's a lot of
something like that,
lonely
yeah.
people out there that really
Yeah.
want to connect. So they connect with someone really quickly and they, oh, wow, yeah, I do want to help you, right?
Right,
So it's
right.
really kind of sad right now of how many people are just so lonely that they'll bite on stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, trying to scam for financial remuneration type of
Right,
thing.
right.
Okay, so let's also talk about some profiles, because when I was going through the online dating, some profiles, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what are some things that you will automatically swipe, let's say, I
Left.
can't remember left.
Left.
Thank you. Hey, it's been a
Left
little
is a
while.
hard
It's been
no.
like a year. Okay, so left is a hard no. What are some things within the profile? And everyone listen up there, whether you're male or female, non-binary, like where are you going to be swiping left for sure?
So me personally,
Yeah.
sunglasses. I can't see your
Yes.
eyes.
Yes.
A mask.
Yeah, right. Like,
Men, there seem to be a lot of fishermen
right.
holding
so
a fish.
You're holding a fish.
You're holding a fish,
Yeah.
a lot of fish. Pictures of your children. I don't
Right.
want pictures of your children.
Or
up.
how about standing next to another female and then they mark her off the face?
Yes, yes.
Right? Like,
or a picture with 2 of their really good looking friends, so you don't know which one's him, and then you go a little
Right.
further and you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you don't know
Right.
which one's which.
Right.
They do that a lot.
Right. And how about putting no effort into the profile description? Like there might be just a one line or nothing.
Yeah, no
even.
effort, no chance. But I've also
Yeah.
heard on the flip side, women putting pictures 10 years old in, or a lot of filters.
Yes.
So it goes both
be
ways.
Real. Be real.
Be real. Be
Yeah,
yourself.
I think it's really important for you to put recent pictures. You need to own who you are. This is me. This is who you are.
Absolutely.
If you're disgusted with who you are right now, then I think it will be really challenging for you to find a mate if you don't even believe in yourself.
Know what you want.
Yeah.
Know what you want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally. Okay, so I feel like you need to have a thick skin if you're on the online dating.
You really do.
Scene, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
what are some things that you will regularly experience?
Yeah, so you can talk to someone and think you have a really good connection. 2 days later, they just unmatch you. They just disappear.
You're like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah.
You can have a really good connection and then they just don't talk anymore. They don't unmatch you, but they just don't talk to you anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it can be tough. You think you have a connection, but it's just a picture of someone and a description of what they have decided to put about themselves.
Right.
So you don't really know them.
And there's so much that can be happening in the background, right? Because with these online dating apps, it could be exhausting going through them. So don't you find you can go through a stage of, I don't even want to touch that anymore. I'm not even checking messages. I don't even want to go there anymore. Even if you're maybe having some connections, something could have set you off, or maybe life has happened
totally.
that all of a sudden, I just don't even want to do it anymore. I'm going to take myself off the apps.
And that's what
right?
I'm finding. Majority of people, when
Yeah.
I started getting on them, they said, oh, I binge for 24 hours and then I don't touch it again for months.
Right.
I'm getting rid of all my dating apps.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm going to try this one now. Maybe I'm going to try
Yeah.
that one now. So,
Right.
yeah, I think that's a pretty common thing. Yeah.
Okay, so something that I'm planning that I want to tell everyone about, I'm planning a singles night at the Second Wedge. And it's going to be fun and interactive. There'll be activities where there's no pressure to get to know people. You can just laugh, have fun, and casually meet people with absolutely no pressure.
Right.
So those in-person events, how do you feel about those?
I think it'd be great, especially the Second Wedge. What a great venue to have it at.
Right.
They're
More
newly
likely to get
built.
the men out there, too,
Yes,
right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Usually the women's tickets sell out right away.
Yeah.
The men are more reserved and don't really buy the tickets. So it's tough to get the men out there. Hopefully that event will be a good one. It's local.
Hopefully.
It's great.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's going to be February the 7th. So mark that in your calendar and get online with the second wedge so you can see the event information coming up. Pamela, thank you so much for being on the show. So fun.
Thanks, Jackie. It was fun.
Good luck on the dating
Thank
scene.
you.
We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Today, I helped a parent feed their family by connecting them to a food program.
Today, I helped someone connect with mental health supports.
Today, I helped a couple struggling to pay their bills access financial aid.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.
Hey there, it's Taylor Bursey, back for another season of Modern Business right here on Rogers TV. I'll be talking to entrepreneurs and market makers under the age of 40 doing amazing things. Make sure to check it out right here on Rogers TV.
Two huge stops from Jacob Oster. A lane to the net. Topolainen scores!
The OHL on Rogers TV.
What a finish!
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. Thank you so much to our guests. Now, something I want to mention more about the dating in Durham. It is important that if you have a friend that is going out on a date or you are going out on a date, make sure that you are aware of what their address is and where they're going. You tell someone, tell a friend the address of where you're going, just to make sure that you keep yourself safe. And something else just to remind you about that February 7th event at the second wedge. Definitely go onto their Facebook page to find out more information. You can buy tickets on Eventbrite. So that is a super fun singles night happening at the second wedge on February the 7th. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be on the show, you can send us an email, uxbridgescugoglife@rci.rogers.com. If you're wanting to volunteer for Rogers or maybe start your own show, send us an email. Check out the website, find out more about volunteering. So thank you again to my guests for being on the show, and we'll be back next week for more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Bye.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
It's so convenient to grab a carton of milk. It took over 60 years to get to this point. It sounds odd, but if you didn't have a cow in the early 1900s, you'd rely on a family farm. The Weary family farm was one of the contributors to the production and distribution of our favorite cookie companion via scoop and pail or by bottle. Then, in the 1930s, with the demand for pasteurized milk, the Weary family partnered with 10 local farmers, raising the funds required for pasteurization technology.